Alright, how y'all doing, and welcome back to the Behind Closed Doors podcast. The first episode was received extremely well. Honestly, thank you so much. I really did not expect for it to go as well as it did. I had a ton of people come up to me and actually just say, we actually really enjoyed that. That was actually moderately good, and we actually managed to watch the entire thing, which I was surprised about. I thought me rambling on for 17 minutes was just a little bit too far for me, not gonna lie. Yeah, just thank you so much for, liking it, I guess. I'm thanking you for liking something. This is starting off great now, isn't it? But basically, I asked on Twitter what I should do for this episode, and someone came back with me just talking about school and school life in general for me, so not a bad idea, alright? I thought it was pretty good, so let's just get into this. I should start off by saying I was a terrible student, alright? I sucked. I never passed anything. I think I never got full marks in one thing, and that was because I had to talk, so you can see what the only thing I'm good at is. And all round, I never did any homework, never did any work in lessons. I never really did anything. I was very lazy and a terrible student, which I regret now, considering the fact that my grades are most likely going to be, well, I'm not really going to get them. The thing is, when I started off school, I'm only going to be talking about secondary school, by the way, because primary school, no one cares about, right? There's nothing going on in primary school. It's kind of just all clouds and rainbows and all happiness, and everyone's like, you want to see my Lego? So, I thought I'd start off with secondary school and just work up from there. So I joined secondary school, and I was a very little sensitive child, alright? Genuinely, I had such a cushioned upbringing. When I got to secondary school and people weren't actually nice, it shocked me, alright? I was extremely sensitive. Anyone could say anything to me and I would be upset. How did I become from that to this? I went from the most sensitive person on the planet to becoming an internet bully for a bit. This is not good. Basically, I joined and all I really did was just get on with my work. Right, I go to school, I get my work done, I had no friends, no one would talk to me. I was basically just bullied, made fun of, and really had no one. I remember there was this one group that I really wanted to get into and I really wanted to be friends with, but they didn't really like me, and it was quite evident. Literally, I remember one time, I was literally sat in, I think it was ethics and philosophy, which is religious education for people who don't know, and I had to sit on a table, one-person table, by myself, with them all directly behind me, where they were very loudly talking about how much they hate me and making fun of me for the entire hour, while I was just sat there on the table by myself, with everyone else making fun of me. Which wasn't fun. And if you can't tell already, scrawny, posh child who took offense to everything, I was beaten up a lot, right? I remember there was this one kid in that group that I wanted to get into who genuinely despised me, right? They just had a problem with me. I remember one day I was just talking to some other people and he came up, he literally bashed my head against the wall and just dropped me to the floor, and he was a heavy child, right? He was a big boy, so he just sat on me, really. Yes, I was sat on by a fat child, Good start to my school. So yeah, basically the first 2 years really did not go well for me, alright? That was basically sums up my entire first 2 years. I wasn't really liked by anyone, no one really liked me, and I was beaten up and bullied a lot, really. That was my year 7 and 8, or 9th grade and 10th grade, I don't know. American people, weird. I'm just gonna go by English terms because that's all I know. But then, suddenly, miraculously, in year 9, I turned it around. I learned from those other 2 years to not care whatsoever what other people think, which is something which I believe in, alright, strongly to this day, alright. If you're not a part of my life, and you're not someone who, I genuinely care about, for example, people who watch my videos, I care about their opinion because they're the ones who I'm making content for, and if they don't like a video, I will care because, I'm making it not for myself. There's no point for me making stuff for myself, it's for other people, so if they don't like it, that's annoying. But some random person who I never talk to, not friends with, or really has no effect on my life whatsoever, I genuinely could not care less what they say, at all. So I started doing that, and I actually gained friends, alright? I actually gained friends. I know, mental. Me, the bullyable me for 2 years, gained some friends. This is crazy. And this is where I kind of went downhill, because it seemed that I started making more friends, but my grades dropped massively. I was basically just, instead of spending all my lessons in the corner doing work and not talking to anyone and being bullied the entire time, I went to talking with everyone, not doing any work, and absolutely not failing every single test I ever did. And this is where I met the glorious man himself, the wonderful, beautiful man himself, Suko. The only friend I had probably for a while, that's sick. And another guy who I've spoken about in some older videos before, the emo kid who I'm not going to name because I don't like naming names. Basically, we were a trio, right? We would talk to each other every day, we sit outside, we played mobile games, alright? That's how close we are. We sat outside and we played mobile games. Now that's a gaming moment. And really, it was great for quite a few years, alright? I was just completely fine. But then miraculously, something happened, alright? The friend group who used to make fun of me and I wanted to be in for years, actually started moderately liking me. And the other guy, the guy who used to bully me, they started to dislike, which was a really good time for me. Basically, we just kicked him out of the group, and he didn't really understand that, like, at all. Like, it was genuinely funny. Like, we kicked them out, and then the next day they just come back and just act like nothing happened, and it just went on for ages. And when they finally got the message, instead of, you know, trying to go find other friends because they didn't actually have any other friends, they just sit on the opposite side of the hall and stare at us the entire break time and lunchtime for months. Oh, we actually broke him. We genuinely broke him. Then we started making other friends, and honestly, it was a pretty good group, alright. Like, we were all good mates. Lots of people were coming in, and I think, like, this was about year 9, year 10, which was, like, our peak, alright. That was the peak of it. But then things started to go downhill. The emo kid who I talked about earlier and in other videos, he decided to leave and go be friends with the person we kicked out. You know, very good times, very fun. And then some other fellow who used to be part of the group, he got a little bit more annoyed and left in a little bit more of an abrupt way. Basically, we were talking about people who we follow on Instagram, alright, because teenage boys, Instagram, I don't know how we got on the subject, we just did. And my mate brought up that they followed XXX and Tashion, and I just made a quick joke, literally just saying, why are you still following him, mate? It's not as if he's going to post anything else. Like, that's literally all I said. And then 2 days later, well, not even 2 days, it was like a day, he just leaves. Like, we don't see him again. And I go up to them, like, a few days afterwards and just say, hey, buddy, is it because that, you know, I made fun of a dead artist that you like? Yeah, he punched me in the face, alright? But the thing is, though, I'm, like, moderately tall. Especially back then, I was moderately tall compared to everyone else. And he's very small. So when he was punching me, it was like, he was aiming higher than what he can actually hit. And he only managed to get, like, the bottom part of my chin. And I remember just, it must have looked so funny for some other people, because I was following him, trying to give him a hug, saying, come on, bro, we can fix this out. And he was just completely just backing off and punching me every time I came close. And it was just, from someone else watching that must have looked hilarious. Just giant gangly man with his arms stretched out trying to hug this small man punching him. I had some good times, alright. And then basically from there, we went downhill, alright. The group went downhill. We started dwindling in people. There's only a few of us left. And it genuinely got to the point in the last year of school where we were being bullied by year 7 girls. Yes, the girls coming in from primary school were making fun of people in the group. That's the point we reached, alright. We went from peak to that. Yeah, it really was not fun whatsoever, right? When you get to the point when you're being bullied by girls who are like 4 years younger than you and genuinely have the voices of chipmunks, alright, no, alright. So I basically, it's sad to say, but I did distance myself. I feel a bit bad about it now, but at the time it seemed like a right idea to do. Like, I genuinely got to the point, alright, where I would rather sit in the library all lunchtime and talk to no one than be with the group and be bullied by year 7 girls, because it's just embarrassing, alright. Like, it wasn't really me who got made fun of. Like, I was basically made fun of for being friends with them. That was it. That was literally it. So I decided to just leave, and I genuinely rather sit by myself for an entire lunchtime and break time than be associated, really, which is sad to say, and if you're listening to this, then I'm sorry, but I just gotta say it how it is, alright. But back onto grades, because I don't really want to have to tell you my entire school life story to do with friends and everything, because it's just a bit sad and lonely, really. But back to grades, alright. I am failing terribly. Like, everything's closed down, you know, we didn't have to do GCSEs or final tests because everything's closed, and I'm not predicted to do very well. Basically, the entire thing is meant to be off, like, your predicted grades and the grades you've been getting, and my predicted grades are alright. They're like passes, they're like C's, B's, but my actual grades, I think in English I was getting a 2 to a 3, which is like a D to a C, I think it is. No, it's like an F to a C. It's not good. It's genuinely not good whatsoever. And really, with my grades, I don't know if I'm going to pass anything. Like, the reason I've been going so hard at YouTube recently, and just in general over the past few months since school's broken up, is that I'm not going to be able to really get any grades to go anywhere, or I'm going to be able to do anything. And I'm making no money as of right now. Literally the only job I have is mowing people's lawns and looking after my sister's dog, and that is it. So I'm having no income. I'm probably going to get no grades, which means I can't get into the colleges I want to, or even need to, and then probably most likely I won't get a job. So basically, the only thing I have as of right now is making YouTube videos and podcasts, and I make no money from that in general. So really, I'm stuffed, alright. I'm literally following a dream because I have nothing else. So that's fun. Got a little bit deep there, Jesus Christ. That went deep. Well, on that note, I think I should leave this here. So thank you so much for listening. If you ended up enjoying this podcast, then please do consider subscribing. I'm going to be making a lot more because I'm honestly really enjoying this. And yeah, go follow me on Twitter if you want to help me out, get video ideas, and yeah, I just really need people for content, really. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Peace out, people.